Everything begins and ends at exactly the right time and place.
Since I did the advanced floater fishing sessions at Alderfen a couple of weeks ago, I've had thousands of requests to go over, well actually two, to go over in detail how I band the pellets on the back of a small hook and get the pellet close to the actual hook. So for those couple of people that did ask, I promised them we'd do that little bit of video again just to go in detail on tying on the band. First of all, the equipment you need. You need your hooks, whichever you're going to use. For most of my floater fishing, I'm actually down these days to size 10s, but more often size 12s, and most of the time I'm using these little mixer hooks from Corda, which I rate very highly. I think they're brilliant. You need your bands, pellets. For an average size 11mm pellet, I tend to find a 3.2mm pellet band is about as good as it gets. You need a short length of braid. Doesn't have to be expensive braid or anything. I've used ordinary green cotton, anything, as long as it's a really fine braid. So you need a short length of braid, and you need a standard needle. So that's the equipment you need to do it. If you're going to hold the hook, it gets a bit fiddly, so I actually find either a pair of mole grips or a cheap little hand vise or a pair of pliers, something that can hold the hook still for you helps as well. So let's go through the stages then in tying. Some of you might have twigged the fact that I'm actually getting a little bit old these days and my eyesight isn't all it used to be. So these days I actually prefer to tie this in slightly larger hooks. So what I'll do is actually use a slightly larger one than the one that I would normally use. So first of all, put that hook in your vise or mole grips so that the eye is sticking up. Take your short length of braid and your pellet band, put it through the braid once and take it so that it's even like so. Hold those two ends of the braid and push them from the back through to the front so that the pellet band is resting on the eye of the hook. Take either end of the braid and bring it back so that one side comes up one side of the shank of the hook and the other comes up the other side. At which point, just tie a simple loop, granny knot, whatever you call it, into the braid. Take your needle, put it in the knot and roll the knot till it comes to the eye of the hook. At which point you cut off the spares there just above the knot, and there you have your pellet band perfectly trapped through the eye of the hook, so that when you put your bait in there, your hook hangs perfectly underneath. It's as simple as that.
Start again.
having seen that done now with the slightly larger version, now let's do it in real time, real size. Take your hook, pop it in the vise, take your length of fine braid, thread it through the pellet band, I find at that point with the braid it's easy just to lick it, it keeps them together. Take them through the eye of the hook, pull the pellet down to the base there, one round either side, one granny knot, needle through the eye, pull that down to the hook,
Everything begins